Hi everyone, I'm June Andronic from the Trustworthy System group in Australia, and I'm here to give you an update on the seL4 Foundation and importantly, why you should join this exciting adventure now. As a child, you might have been dreaming of becoming an astronaut and working for NASA, like many other children. And maybe some of those children now contribute in their own way to that dream. Maybe not on the moon itself, maybe as engineers, all contributing towards that dream. Part of a community of people proud of being part of that dream. Or maybe as a child, you were like this little boy with bedtime stories around operating system design and implementation. This is a true picture. I could not invent it. This is Shashank Jeremy when he was a child. Shashank is now working in the Trustworthy System group. And so maybe, like that child, you were then dreaming of a world with a verified kernel one day. And now that you have grown up, you might be contributing in your own way towards that dream of verified software on a verified kernel, and you're proud of being part of that community. Well, the foundation is there for you to be able to say this loud and clear. And this is why you should all join the foundation now if you haven't done so yet. In this presentation, I will first explain the benefits of joining the foundation, then briefly how exactly to join in an easy process. And finally, I will give some updates of everything the foundation has done since its creation about 6 months ago, both from the board point of view and from the technical point of view, the technical steering committee. So let's start with the benefits of joining. In a nutshell, the seL4 Foundation is there to build an ecosystem of software developers and adopters for safety and security critical systems based on seL4. And in particular, there are 4 main key points of the purpose of the foundation. Firstly, is to be able to strengthen the ecosystem and increase the number of people that participate and adopt seL4 and help in having that diverse support of the seL4 ecosystem. The second point is to ensure the long-term support of seL4 and independent support of seL4. If you are an organization today betting on seL4, wanting to transition a product line to seL4, you want to be sure that you have the long-term support for that technology. And this is what the foundation is there to provide. The third key point is to be able to raise funds to continue and accelerate the development of seL4. And by having multiple organizations joining as members, pooling funds together, that allows really putting more effort, more funding for effort for development. And finally, the fourth point is to facilitate things like interoperability, standardization, and as I said already, the sharing of costs for all the things that the entire community around seL4 needs in terms of support for the technology. So if you're all here in the seL4 Summit, you might already be convinced that seL4 is the best technological solution. What the foundation is there for is to make it not only the obvious technical choice, but also the fact that it would be readily deployable, but also supported by an entire ecosystem that is diverse and stable and offering services and products around the seL4 technology. So now, concretely, what are the benefits in becoming a member? There are different kinds of benefits. Some are general and some are dependent on the profile that you may have. So let's start with the general one. The first benefit is linked to the dream I was mentioning just a bit before, which is to have your name associated with the world's most advanced and most highly assured OS technology. So be able to claim that you're part of that dream, part of that community, believing in verified software, and have your name associated with it. The second benefit is, as betting on the seL4 technology, you want to have easy access to the expertise across the foundation, across a community of people that are addressing similar technical issues and having similar value propositions. And finally, by joining the foundation, you want to be able to influence the growth of the ecosystem. So if you join the board or some of its committee, you will have a say in the direction in where it goes, the allocation of funds, approval of set standards, decision on branding, trademark use, and I'll come back to it, but we're working as well in certification schemes. And therefore, if you're, again, betting, having your organization betting on the seL4 technology, you want to be able to influence where it's going so that it meets your needs. The following benefits are dependent on your profile. You might be an adopter of the seL4 technology, and then you'll have a benefit as a member by supporting the creation of all the things that we all need as the seL4 community. So components, tools, products, and so on. And by joining the foundation, you eliminate the replication of effort and reduce the cost by pooling together to be able to develop those artifacts. As a processor manufacturer, if you want to be competitive in the domains of safety critical or security critical products, you want to ensure that your hardware is well supported by seL4. And in particular, as I mentioned in my talk in last year's summit, seL4 is available in a number of platforms with different configuration, but also different assurance story. seL4 is not verified on all platforms, and I'll come back to it. And so you want to make sure that you support not only that your hardware is supported by seL4, that seL4 can run on it, but that it's also verified on it so that you're competitive in the area of critical domains. If you are an organization providing seL4 services, then by joining the foundation, you can become a certified trusted seL4 provider, and the foundation will advertise you as such in the website. I'll come back to it. We already have such trusted service providers, and also can then redirect inquiries from the community wanting to have some seL4 services support, but also teaming for bidding for specific fundings together or subcontracting as well. And finally, if you're a university or public sector, you might be doing seL4 research or seL4 teaching, and you might want to have opportunities to advertise that on the seL4 Foundation, and also potentially establish collaboration, research collaboration with other such organizations doing research on seL4. So these are generally the benefits for you as a member. What is it that you bring as a support to the foundation? And in some way, how would success look like with a big pool of members? Well, firstly, we will see an extension of the kernel verification. So once again, the kernel is not necessarily verified on all platforms. This is actually one of the updated matrix. So going quickly through it, at the top, you can see MCS, which is the mixed criticality systems, which is the support for mixed criticality systems. And this will become the default as soon as the verification of functional correctness is finished, which is almost done. But prior to that, we basically, for instance, had proof of a ARCH32 platform for functional correctness, binary correctness, security. We also have a verification for virtualization extension. Functional correctness is also verified on x86 64-bit or RISC-V 64-bit, which was the big announcement this year, the RISC-V platform verified. So all of this will then be updated once we have the mixed criticality support done once. But then there are other areas that really need funding. An obvious one is, for instance, ARCH64 on ARM platforms, or for instance, the multi-core support, which would be really good to have multiple interested parties being able to pool funds to be able to raise enough funding to be able to support that. Other items for how the success could look like, well, It's with enough members, the foundation will be able to provide a mature platform for a trustworthy operating system that is really readily deployable. Also to have a high assurance story beyond the kernel, so at the user level as well. Build, of course, an expertise in deploying those critical systems based on seL4. And finally, with all of the points above, making seL4 really ubiquitous, especially in critical systems. So I hope I've convinced you now of the benefits of joining. So you're just wondering, okay, how is it that I joined? So here it is. It's really an easy 3-click process to find where you should fill in your membership application. So it's on the seL4 Systems website under Foundation and Membership. But the easy 3-click process is you go on Google, you type seL4 and you feel lucky. So you click on I'm feeling lucky. Then you find the item for the foundation, and on there you will find the join now. From here you'll be led to an online process where you will choose the type of membership that you want. There are 3 types of membership for the seL4 Foundation. The premium membership is really what you want if you are an organization betting on seL4, because this really gives you a guaranteed board seat. And this is where all the decisions about the direction of the funding, the trademark, and the projects are done at the board. There is also a general membership that votes as a class and gets 1 seat at the board as a class. If you are a nonprofit or an open source project or a government entity, you can also join as an associate member for free. And please note that the seL4 Foundation is part of the Linux Foundation, or rather it's been set up as under the umbrella of the Linux Foundation. So if your organization is not part of the Linux Foundation yet, it should apply there first. And it's all part of the same process. The 3-click process I just mentioned will also guide you through the membership of Linux Foundation if you're not already a member. So easy 3-click process on how to join. And this is really all the pitch about please join and why you should join. And now I'll give you a bit of an update of everything that the foundation has been working on since its creation, from 2 points of view, the board first, and then the technical steering committee. So a lot of things has happened from the board, and we'll go through them one by one. So firstly, the foundation has launched in April 2020. This has created a quite nice level of press coverage. And also, of course, we had to do the launch through all our virtual celebration, since this was the time where a large part of the world was starting to be on lockdowns. But basically, it was a pretty good launch. Then the foundation has a governing board since its inception. Right now, you have 6 members, but of course, as the premium member would join the foundation, you would add a picture in that slide. So let's go through the people. So Gernot Heiser, you would all know about. He has talked at the first day of this summit. Next to Gernot, you have Dan Potts from Ghost Locomotion, who is a company based in California, focusing on self-driving cars and betting on the seL4 technology to keep them safe. Then you have yours truthfully. Then you have Sasha Krebesh from Hensoldt Cyber, which is a company based in Munich, developing IT products based on seL4 for high assurance, together in combining this with RISC-V processor, again for high assurance. Next to that, you have Gerwin Klein, who a lot of you know as well. He's been leading the verification of seL4 initially, and still very involved in all of the proofs around the seL4 kernel. And finally, you have John Launchbury, which probably doesn't need an introduction in this community. He's a founder and chief scientist of Galwa, but also founder and CTO of TangramFlex. But his story with seL4 was also very much during his time as a DARPA program manager and then director. in supporting a lot of grants and development around the seL4 ecosystem. So we're very happy to have this board, and we really welcome new board members through premium membership. Other updates from the board, the seL4 Foundation has a website. Actually, the entire seL4 website has been revamped, so you have now a much clearer way to find how to contribute, how to use, how to learn things, understanding the trademark, which I'll mention again in a minute. And there is one page where you have a lot of information about the foundation, where you can find information around the things I'm mentioning in this talk. So again, Google seL4 and you feel lucky, and you should find easily the seL4 Foundation website. We also have an increasing set of members, which is exciting. Note that this talk is pre-recorded, so I'll mention the members at the time of recording this. Maybe we'll have be lucky to have more members by the time this is actually happening at the summit. So I urge you to go to that website I just mentioned and go to the membership page and see if there are more new members. But at the time of recording, we have 3 premium members. So far, these are premium as a recognition of their contribution to seL4 prior to the foundation launch. So you have CSRO and UNSW as host of the Trustworthy Systems team. And you also have Hensoldt Cyber as having supported all of the RISC-V verification work on seL4. And finally, we have, at the moment of this recording, 5 general members. So Adventium Labs, Breakaway Consulting, Cox Systems, DonorWorks, and Ghost Locomotion. And of course, what we'd like is, of course, to have all of your names here added and joining the foundation. An important update from the board is the certification scheme that we're working towards. So this is intended to certify seL4 services, seL4 training, and seL4 based products, so that the foundation can give an endorsement, a certification, giving a level of quality or usefulness for the community. While we are working on the exact process and definition of those schemes, we have already defined an interim endorsement scheme that you can find on the website. And we have already endorsed 3 service providers, DonorWorks, Breakaway Consulting, and Cox System, which means that if you go on the website, you will find a page where you can see the type of seL4 services that these 3 organizations provide. And if you are a company needing seL4 services, you can go there and know that you can trust those 3 seL4 service providers, at least as far as the seL4 Foundation is concerned. Other updates is we have developed guidelines and published them on the website about how to use the trademark. And finally, I'll draw your attention as well on a white paper that Gernot wrote, which is an introductory or overview paper about seL4, and it's a good entry point if you want to have kind of the big picture around seL4. So this is more or less all of the things that I wanted to mention from the board. There's probably more that I'm forgetting, but this is the high-level picture. And now moving on to the technical steering committee, where all of the technical work comes in. So here is the current technical steering committee of the seL4 Foundation. This committee is made up of all the committers of the repository, so people that have committer rights on the repo. So quickly going through them, you have Matt Brecknell. So you've heard from Matt yesterday. So he's working on the proofs of seL4 and had made an introduction to those proofs. Next, you have Iho Kuz, who you probably have met in previous seL4 Summit, and that will give a presentation just after me in this session. Gowan Klein, I already mentioned. Then you have Rafał Kolansky as well as Corey Lewis, both working on seL4 proofs in Trustworthy Systems. In the second row, you have Anna Lyons and Kent McLeod, which you have also met at previous summit if you've attended those. Both are very active systems engineer on the seL4 community. And of the last names, the one that I haven't mentioned yet is Kevin Elphinstone, who's been one of the original designer of the seL4 kernel. In terms of the updates of what has been happening from the technical steering committee, well, firstly, I'd like to mention that we're very happy to see an increased involvement and contributions from the community. And this is exactly the purpose of the foundation. This is really what we want to see. Of course, that creates challenges, which are all good problems to have. And these are mainly the ones that I'll mention now in the update, which are all the things that we are trying to work on to make sure that it's easier to contribute and make sure that all of the community contributions are really encouraged and facilitated. So the first item on that direction is that both the repo and the issue tracker are more open, active, and transparent. So the issue tracker that we used to have in the trustworthy system or the foundation now is now all available. So you can track and see how some of the issues are going. And the second point is the proofs used to get out through releases, but now they're actually directly committed to the GitHub on an ongoing basis. So you can also see more of the progress going there. On the committee itself, we have created a new role of reviewer. This is again to be able to have more help from the community to deal with contributions, pull requests, and issues. So the reviewer can be assigned pull requests and issues, can trigger some of the test suites. They can just not merge directly into the repo, which is left to the committers. But this is really seen as a stepping stone towards the role of a committer or a membership to the technical steering committee. So currently in that role, we have Yan Shen from COG, Benno Leslie from Breakaway, Axel Heider from Hensoldt Cyber, Jesse Willwood from DonnerWorks, and Chris Guikama from DonnerWorks as well. Other updates from the technical steering committee is we are really trying to make it easier to really contribute to the repo, in particular to be able to run the test suites and to have documented processes. This is still ongoing, but ideally what we would like is to have those clear processes documented, but also have those test suites that can be really automated GitHub actions on every pull request so that every contributor can really check easily if the test suite go through before the pull requests actually reach a human reviewer. There are still some challenges to solve. We have done some progress. So the test suite has several levels. So some of the earlier levels or low levels are done already. You can run some of those tests already. And the more involved tests are still work in progress. So keep watching. And another update is we wanted to encourage the community to work on projects, so external project in the sense of external to the core seL4 Foundation, the committers, but to be able to advertise it as being on the seL4 roadmap. So if you have such a project, you have now a process documented on the doc sites on the roadmap page, which is emailing the committee basically with a description and some information. And this is really, again, to avoid duplication of work. If you're really working on one thing that a lot of people want and you want to be able to advertise that this is going to come soon, then you have a way to do that. And finally, we are investigating the notion of platform owner, which will allow more of the community to help supporting specific platforms if some organizations are willing to own some of them and take on board the maintenance of it. So we're still discussing the exact definition expectation, and this should be out soon, so stay tuned. So this concludes my presentation. I've given you an update of everything the seL4 Foundation has done since its creation about 6 months ago, both from the board point of view and the technical steering committee. I have also shown you how to join in an easy 3-click process, and hopefully have convinced you that you really want to join and you really want to embark in this great adventure, be part of that community working on that towards that dream of having a verified future enabled by a seL4. Thank you very much for your attention, and have a great rest of your day wherever you are. Thank you.